Is he not coming again today?
I'm Senior Senator Jack Alderson, a continuation of the chair of the State and Local Government Committee, and call for roll. No call.
Alderson?
Here.
Eaton?
Here.
Cox?
Here.
Kim Selby?
Here.
Smith? Orange? Winslow?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Now, do we have an author? Mr. Shantz. He has AP 120, AP 25.
What page?
Page 177, relating to consumer credit reports. You have the floor. I have one question for clarity. You said seniors, and in the bill is written, it says 65 years of age and older?
That's correct.
Okay, just for clarity.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what he says here.
Senior Senator Kim Selby?
I know that they were charging every time you ask.
You're on.
Am I on? Hello. Isn't our procedure on these committees that we? Yeah. Isn't it procedures on these committees that we have to approve or have a motion to hear the proposal, and then we have to vote on that, and then we have him do the proposal. So let's go through the regular procedures, okay?
So move it.
I move that we hear the proposal, which we just did. Yeah.
I want you to read the proposal.
Now he just did that. He's giving it to it now.
You're just backing up and making it.
Yeah, legal.
No, I'm just because we're going to have more people coming in here, so let's just do it right.
Right.
Okay.
So do you want to continue on at this point if you have some
No,
additional questions?
I move that we accept the proposal as presented.
Second the motion.
Been moved and seconded. Should call for the vote.
Yeah. Call for the vote. Question?
Roll call vote.
And this is on AP
25.
AB 25. Okay. Eaton.
Aye.
Eaton. I. Cox.
Yes.
Cox. I. Kim Selby.
Aye.
Kim Selby. I. Winslow.
Aye.
Winslow. I. Alderson.
Yes. Aye.
Alderson. I. Mr. Chairman, that bill passes out on a 5-0-0 roll call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Congratulations.
makes it on the consent calendar.
I noticed that the Assembly did the same thing.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have another proposal yet?
Yeah, from Assembly Member Campbell.
Yeah, let's keep them coming.
Yeah.
Senior Assembly Person Campbell, would you forward and take the seat? And
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Norma Campbell. This is my 11th year with CSL. I represent San Francisco, PSA 6. And my proposal for this year is relates to the SSI participants, the Social Security income supplement provision of Social Security.
Okay. I move that we hear the proposal.
Second.
I would like to start by reading a letter from the City and County of San Francisco from the Department of Aging and Adult Services. This was written to the to Chairman Dahlgren and to the I always the HRC, right? No, I get that wrong all the time. Anyway, this was addressed to the CSL, I believe, about a month ago. The San Francisco Advisory Council to the Aging and Adult Services Commission supports the state proposal by Senior Assembly Member Norma Campbell to terminate California's reduction of federal COLAs for SSI recipients and urges you to support it as well. SSIP provides modest cash assistance to help low-income California seniors and people with disabilities to help meet basic living expenses. In order to qualify for SSI, you must have assets below $2,000 a year as an individual and $3,000 total assets for a couple. So that Campbell. Okay. Since 2008 and 2009, lawmakers have reduced SSI grants multiple times and suspended 3 cost of living adjustments, their COLAs, according to the California Budget Project analysis of state data. The cumulative impact of these cuts has amounted to $4 billion between 2008 and 2012. This $4.6 billion reduction is equivalent to the loss of roughly $3,600 for nearly 1.3 Californians who receive cash assistance. As a result of the deep cuts enacted in recent years, the maximum monthly SSI SSP grant will drop to the federal minimum of $830 in July of 2011. SSP grants provide individuals with an annual income of up to just $9,960 starting in July. This is $930 below the poverty level, the federal poverty level line of $10,800. The SSI recipients in California are not eligible for food stamps through the CalFresh program, formerly known as food stamps. Therefore, California recipients of SSI continue to face difficult choices of how to live within a reduced income, so either eating less or relying on food banks or other charitable food organizations. On top of these egregious cuts, lawmakers also eliminated the statutory requirement to provide a state COLA for SSI grants, which will be effective for 2010 and 2011. Lawmakers have also reduced the maximum monthly SSI grant for couples to the federal minimum of $2,009. We in California cannot further reduce SSIP grants without triggering the elimination of a federal funding for Medi-Cal program and thus placing our most needy population in poverty positions. The state's contribution by the amount of a federal COLA is the state's reduction, by the amount of the federal COLA is cynical and unconscionable. Please support the proposal to terminate California's reduction of SSI federal COLAs. This took place by our former governor. The federal government gives each of the states a COLA increase each year. California, they didn't eliminate the COLA, they just didn't give it to the SSI recipients. And on top of that, as I said, California does not give any SSI recipients food stamps, whereas in other states, SSI recipients, that is their application to food stamps. So what we have done to our 65 and older population and disabled people is put them in a poverty situation. So I'm urging you to please pass this proposal, send it forward to have the elimination of the federal COLA stopped and the state of California to reinstate the federal COLA to SSI recipients in our state. That's basically what I have.
Senior Senator Eaton.
I've read your proposal completely, and I'm concerned that you seem to have lumped the SSI federal Supplemental Security Income Program with the state Supplemental Security Program, which is, they're two separate funding. The SSP is entirely state money. The SSI is entirely federal money. When you talk in your proposal about the COLA, the federal COLAs, no one got federal COLAs the last couple of years because, quote unquote, there was no cost of living increase during those period of time. The state amount then followed suit and used that same amount. I'm confused a little bit because they're wrapped together and they're different, and you needed to have separated them and addressed only the SSP. The other thing I see is you mentioned about the food stamps, that the state didn't provide food stamps for people on SSI, SSP, but that's because the state is considered a cash-out state, which is considered that they funded more money to the SSI-SSP recipient than what they had earlier before the SSI program, and therefore the cash money they received was more. So I'm a little confused by the proposal.
I was a little confused by the proposal too when I received it, because what I had written and what what was sent to me were a little bit different. I had written this proposal at the urging of the City and County Department of Aging, and we were addressing the need for SSI recipients, and then came.
If I could, one finish thing, and because I've got to leave to testify too, I would recommend you consider an amendment dropping the SSI portion and making it the SSP portion, because I think that would have more effect. And I better go. I'm sorry.
Okay. May I respond?
You can be excused, but we can't take any more testimony as of yesterday.
Yeah, it's a 4. Yeah. Well, it's a.
We still have a quorum.
Right, but we only have 5.
So 3 is
So I can't. I don't know. I'm afraid to leave.
Is it?
Well,
You
confusing
leave.
who is
I won't be able to leave either because I have one here. But if you leave, then we have to have a 3 at least here.
Mr. Chair,
okay, you're excused.
Yeah.
You're excused.
Chair.
She'll be back.
No, I won't go. I won't go yet.
no, you-
Yeah, I will stay here, but I would like to ask her. Then, Senior Senator Eaton said, I have the same kind of feeling because when you kept on saying SSI is a federal program. What you have to stick with is SSP. Then that is a state program, and state got rid of COLAs. Then on the other hand, nobody, last 2-3 years, nobody received any COLA, including Social Security benefit. So nobody received that. And then in this area, in this Bay Area, you talk about there is no food stamp. But in place of a food stamp, what we have is brown bag program. Brown bag comes in twice a month. All they pay is $10 to cover whole year. So you're talking about the food stamp, but I'm talking about the 24 brown bags a year they are receiving with $10. So I think that's
They receive 24 bags.
bags because
Each
each month,
individual
each
receives
month,
24
every
bags?
2 weeks, we are gonna give Mercy brown bag. So that's how they can supplement the food stamp. Food stamp we are talking about is $20.
Is that provided by the state?
Yes, it's a county has that. Your
That's not
county is
provided
what?
at the county office, but is that state monies? Is that coming through the Social
Yes,
Security?
because Alameda County has it, Contra Costa County has it. At which county are you? It's San Mateo County?
I'm San Francisco.
San Francisco has it. Because San Francisco, you go to senior center, they receive fresh food, fresh vegetable, fresh fruit. So,
I'm a little confused, Senator Kim Selby.
Well-
because in all of my research and the research that the Office on Aging did in San Francisco City and County, we weren't talking about the brown bags that senior centers have. We were not talking about that. We're talking about the Social Security program.
I know Social Security program is a COLA was not there, but the brown bag program can be used for your food stamp because brown bag you pay only $10 a year to cover, and each month you get 2 bags. So that's what I want to tell you. But I know it's Korean Senior Center on Buchanan Street. They receive fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. They live in San Francisco.
Statewide senior centers are receiving $10 and brown bags with food up and down the state of California for SSIP recipients. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that's why I'm saying.
I see,
That's
but
why I'm saying that. And then,
I see. Okay. Then we will need to.
and then also,
This proposal addresses the Social Security program.
this is proposing. What you're proposing is not Social Security program.
Yes,
This
it
is a welfare program, SSP, welfare program. They have not worked one day out of their life, but they were simply low income. Therefore, government is giving them safety net for them to survive. That's why this is done. It's not earned benefit. It is unearned benefit the government is providing safety net. So, on the other hand, we all never received the COLA.
The SSI program and not the SSP.
SSP is a state-operated program.
Yes.
SSI is the federal government.
It's a federal program.
Yes.
I think, Mr. Chairman, there seems to be some confusion.
The chair was just about ready to interrupt here. Thank you. I think there is some confusion between the chair, between the Senator Kim Selby and Assemblywoman Campbell. So I would like to leave that right there. Is there any other questions that are from other members of the board?
I don't have any questions, but reading through this really doesn't state the problem. It's not specific, and it doesn't tell us exactly what you're getting at. And I'd have to be forced to vote against this the way it's written at the present time. It needs to be specific on what you're really wanting.
The proposal is to reinstate the federal COLA to SSI recipients in California. The $24 last year increase was not given to the SSI recipients. They had received a federal COLA of $24. That was taken by the state of California and turned into the general fund monies. We are asking that the COLAs be reinstated and given to the recipients and not used by the state of California for general fund monies.
See, that's not the way I read the proposal.
As I said to Senator Eaton, the proposal was a little changed by the time I also received it.
Do you wish to make an amendment as the author to make any changes to that at this time?
I am willing to make amendment if it would, yes, if it would improve the proposal and be more explanatory, yes. What the recommendation would be to change what part of it? Or at what part would you like that amended?
Senator Cox?
Well, I'd like to see it just left out, everything except the part that you're talking about putting back the federal part that comes in. I'd like to see the state and everything left out of it. Just the feds. Then you want that money back from that the feds got yesterday or last year.
But it goes to the state, and then the state.
We're not caring. I don't care where it goes to. It's what it is. It's what I'm looking at.
Could you be more specific as to where you would like it in the proposal, where you would like the amendment placed?
That's up to the author.
Would you like to strike out all SSI?
I'd like to hear a motion from the board either to move the bill or not?
Over the question?
Call for the question.
Yes.
Second.
Roll call.
And this is on AP,
AP 4.
That's just to move the question, move the proposal. It's not to authorize the proposal.
No, it's just not to authorize it, but just to.
okay, so here we go. Eaton? Cox? Yes. Cox, aye. Kim Selby?
No.
Kim Selby, no. Winslow? Aye. Winslow, aye. Mr. Chair, that bill will have to remain on call. We have 2 ayes and 1 no vote, but we have some members absent right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Alderson. Alderson, yeah.
Aye, but I would like to have the author make the correction before they bring it back to, so that we have something clear that we can vote and understand. Can you do that?
Did you want that back today?
It will have to be today if we're going to pass it.
Yeah.
And it would have to be this afternoon. We've got
Okay.
just 2.5 hours.
I shall return, I hope.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I didn't record your vote. Your vote was?
That's just to hear the proposal.
It was just to hear the proposal, but it was just to hear the proposal, but what we wanted was her to bring it back with the changes so it's clear.
Very well.
Is that?
Yes, you come back.
Mr. Chair, did we establish a quorum so that we know what 3 votes is passes it?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's been settled. 3
Yeah.
votes passes.
So I cannot go out. So I will wait until Kanye comes back.
Okay, we're ready for our second witness, second proposal? Or,
Yes.
Mr. Hammer.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Senior Assemblyman Kammerer. He has AP 11, page 163, relating to identity theft, punishment, and enhancement. So if he would make his proposal and...
Well, I'm hoping by now all of you have read it. I don't want to read it word for word, but there's a little bit of clarity we need to do. And I went through the legal counsel with the state as far as clearing up some confusion that some people had. And where it says about 10 victims, there's 2 sections to the penal code of 530.5.
Excuse me, before we get started here, we need to make a motion, or we need to hear it. So I move that we hear the proposal.
Second.
My apologies.
That's all right. We're having the same problem in our room, so it's not.
Yeah. Call for the question. Roll call.
Eaton?
Read the proposal.
Eaton, Cox,
Aye.
Kim Selby,
Aye.
Winslow.
Aye.
Okay, so that's
Alderson.
Alderson.
Yes.
Forget the chair. You know. Okay, so that's so we have 4 ayes to 0 noes and 0.
And according to Ledge Council, is it in the proper format?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? What is in the proper format?
Ledge Council, when before it's usually read, we ask if it's in the proper format and language.
Yes.
It definitely is. I just need to clarify something for everyone. That's all. It's I'm retired from law enforcement, and I used to work these cases quite well. You know, a lot of identity theft cases, and the confusion comes a little bit is if you read the part about 530.5A, because they don't put all the subsections in. A is any felony conviction could have an enhancement if this is approved. And we're aiming at the people who do major stuff like take somebody's complete savings at age 70, and then they're in poverty. They have no way of recovering it. These are the kind of victims we're concerned about. Then there's another section. It's called 530.5C3, which deals with people who have the equipment or the phony IDs or the credit cards or whatever that have at least 10 potential victims, and they don't even have to do the crime yet. They can be convicted of a felony even by just possessing the equipment to do this, and that's where the number 10 comes in. You don't need 10 victims if it's under Section A, because it could be one victim that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. So it just makes it a little clearer. As far as researching this, I've contacted numerous local police agencies within the area where I live in Orange County. I spoke with the Orange County Sheriff's detective in charge of these kind of crimes. I also spoke with the LA County Sheriff's Department Fraud Against Seniors section, plus Irvine PD, Anaheim PD, and my own references, because I was a sentencing investigator for the LA County Probation Department, that I was also an expert in this field. So, ironically, there's a little added thing here you might enjoy. I started writing this bill about 3, 4, 5 months ago, whatever. More than that, even, actually, in February. This Friday, I was a victim of identity theft. Kind of weird. I even have a letter from my bank verifying it, but fortunately, that my bank picked up on it so fast that they closed my debit card, and so they were only able to defraud me of $180, which the bank already reimbursed me. So some people are lucky, but the victims we're talking about, you got to remember on these things. If somebody is convicted of this crime, not everybody's going to go to prison. First of all. If it's the first time or it's not major, huge loss, or it's not organized crime type situations, they're probably going to get probation, but maybe some county jail time. But we're after the ones that are actually going to go to prison, and those people, I think, deserve a 2-year enhancement on their sentence if the victim's over 65 years old. That's the whole intent of this.
What you're asking for basically is the imposition of for the felony that's convicted of 530.5, that it be a 2-year enhancement.
2-year enhancement if they are sentenced to prison and the victim is over 65.
Okay, that's what it says here.
Yes.
Okay, that's what the meat is.
Thank you, Senior Senator Winslow.
Also, I need to add that there may be a little bit of cost because we're talking about having put maybe people in prison a little longer, but at the same intent, if this gets an effect, some people might think twice about victimizing a victim over 65, and that way we could offset the cost, basically.
But that's up to the legislature to decide.
Right. Yeah.
We don't have to pay for it. We have to tell them what we need.
Senior Senator Kim Selby.
Yesterday, I was testifying in the Senate Health Committee. They were pounding on me, must have a cost, have to list it. That's where they failed me, the stroke education. So that's just for your information.
But that's not our job to come up with the money.
That's what I thought.
Oh, that's what you told them.
That's what I thought too. So besides, if you list the cost here, it's not going to get out the committee. That's why I did not do it. I didn't insist on that.
Yeah.
Are there any further questions from?
I call for the question.
Do we have a second?
I think this is a very good bill to start with. It's going to be hard to implement because right now, the states and the federal government are trying to empty their prisons instead of putting more into there. So, but it is a good bill and it's a step in the right direction. So I'll second it.
Call for the roll call.
Eaton? Cox?
Aye.
Cox, aye. Kim Selby?
Aye.
Kim Selby, aye. Winslow?
Aye.
Winslow, aye. Alderman?
Aye.
Alderson? Aye. Mr. Chairman, that bill got 400.
And
Yeah, but you want to hold the roll open for the other members? You can't.
No, we don't need to hold it open.
Okay, no, 4-0-0.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
it's a start.
And the next one?
This is AP 22. This is Assembly Member Rolfe.
Page 173, taxation, deductions, mileage rates, volunteer activities.
Yes, yes.
Do I hear a motion to hear the proposal?
I move that we hear the proposal.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay, Eaton, Cox,
Aye.
Kim Selby, Winslow,
Aye.
Alderson.
Aye. Please make your proposal.
Okay. This proposal is designed to provide a mileage tax deduction for seniors age 65 and over when they are performing volunteer activities. With the shredding of our safety net because of all the budget deductions and the just devastation of services for people who are seniors, who are disabled, who are very low income, there's a huge gap in how we are going to be able to take care of those individuals. Seniors represent a very large resource that could be used to help because we're freer to volunteer. As a matter of fact, studies have shown that seniors are willing to volunteer more than any other age group. The Bureau of Labor says that seniors volunteer an average of 96 hours a year. Additionally, the volunteer hour here in California is worth over $21 an hour. It's equal to an individual who's working. However, the Governor's Office on Volunteering has determined in their survey that one of the main reasons that people do not do more volunteering is because of the cost of driving and we know that cost of gas has gone up. So what this proposal is designed to do is to try to encourage seniors to do more volunteering, to fill those gaps that we so desperately need filled. And all it does is it says that for these seniors 65 and over, on their volunteer mileage, they can deduct the same allowable deduction as a business allowable deduction. So currently, volunteer deduction is 14 cents a mile, which is just embarrassing, actually. The business deduction is 51 cents a mile. I believe, and I think others will believe, that the value of the volunteer is just as valuable as the business working person and should be able to deduct at the same rate. And I hope you'll agree with me.
What was that first allowance you said? What was that for, a business?
14 cents a mile is for volunteer.
For what?
For mileage.
Yes, I understand. You have federal volunteer travel allowance. Is that what the federal
Yes.
travel expense deduction is?
Yes.
I thought it was more than that.
No.
No, it's not. There are several bills trying to raise this, and have been several bills in the feds.
Together. Gotcha. Thank you. That's good.
And if we do it just for seniors, it's not that much. It really isn't that much to give to them, but perhaps it'll be an encouragement and get more seniors out there helping.
Now, in one area here, you have 55 seniors, 55 years of age.
Did they not change that for you? It was an author's amendment to 65.
For seniors, 55. I don't have the amendment.
I have 55 also. Yeah. If I'm reading it correctly.
So you're wanting it to be 65, right?
Yes.
65?
There were two amendments, author's amendments. Oh, did I have to bring them here too?
On page 174, whereas In 2010, the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics stated for volunteers 65 years of age and older.
Right.
They must have missed 65 years of age. There were three areas where it was amended. In the title, add the word senior to volunteer activities, because it is only for seniors. And then on line 18, change 55 to 65.
17.
17? Okay, you're looking at a different version than I've got.
Yeah, we don't have the amended copy.
It seems as though, but line 42, no, line,
Mr. Chair, the only
I'm
one
so
that
sorry.
really counts is what's in the whereases. The other is just background information. So when she gets to the whereases, then that's the ones that we have to zero in on.
Sir, actually, it's the
It'll be
resolves.
consistent, but it's not.
It-
You take the whereas, that's the one we're voting on.
District Council, or Edge Council.
It's not the whereases, it's the resolves.
Right.
You said the whereases.
It resolved.
Right. You said the whereases. I just wanted to clarify for our author. It's the resolves that are important.
Whereas is just background information.
Good point.
so line 73 still has to be changed to, if it says 55 on your version, it should be 65.
Right.
So,
65 and 17, line 17.
You're offering
Yes.
that as an amendment.
The author is amending in those three places.
yes. I'm sorry, I did that yesterday, but I guess it didn't make it through. It's funny. Ours did.
You just haven't sent us a copy of the amended deals, which you should have. Huh?
In the title.
Line 73, line 17.
So,
No, line-
so first line 8 in the title, add senior. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll let you do it.
Line 17
You got a different one than we do.
and line
60-something.
and line 73.
176, page 176.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what, so two areas we amended, that's age-wise.
The age is 2, and then the title, adding seniors.
Right.
And,
With those three changes, I'd recommend that we approve this proposal.
Second.
Edge Council.
First, you'll need to take a vote on the amendments because we don't have them in print.
We have to take a vote on the
Amendment.
amendment. Roll call.
Eaton, Cox,
Yes.
Kim Selby,
yes,
Winslow,
Aye.
Alderson.
Aye.
I now move we accept the proposal with the amendments that we had just added.
Second.
It's moved in second. Roll call.
Eaton, Cox,
Aye.
Cox, aye. Kim Selby,
aye.
Kim Selby, aye. Winslow,
Aye.
Winslow, aye. Alderson,
Aye.
Alderson, aye. That measure passes 4-0-0.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
What's the next one?
Do we have another one?
Yeah, this is Assemblymember Sommerfeld for Assembly Federal Proposal 14.
I have that was not approved.
Is that right?
No, this is,
AFP 14?
Yeah, it's a federal proposal. AFP is at the bottom.
you had that as not being approved
Yeah.
It was certainly approved
in committee.
in committee yesterday.
Mr. Chairman, I have the proposal sheet here, and it looks to me like it passed 8-1, so it looks like it's live.
Good.
Okay,
That's
let's
Let's do her.
You're
Here,
gonna move-
take a motion to hear the proposal.
I move we hear the proposal.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay, Eaton, Cox,
Aye.
Kim Selby,
Aye.
Smith, Orange, Winslow,
Aye.
Alderson.
Aye. Passes?
Yeah, well,
4-0. Go ahead with the proposal.
I'm Terry Sonnefeld, PSA 11. I am working as co-author with Senator Murphy. He and I work together on the Alzheimer Alert Program, which is called the Alzheimer Silver Alert Program. That is APF 14. This is historically a bill that was here 3 years ago and was voted, passed, and was approved as our #1 issue.
That's not this bill.
It was very similar to this
Okay,
bill.
let's zero in on your.
Okay. All right. This bill is primarily designed to ask that the Amber Alert system, or better known as the Emergency Alert System, be available for use for seniors with dementia, those including Alzheimer's or whatever other form of dementia may cause that person to wander or to escape a building or to leave from his home and be lost and be reported as lost, that this would allow the use of that emergency alert system to assist in finding that individual. It has been studied and found that approximately 50% of those people who wander away and are gone overnight do not fully recover from that process. This is a nationwide program, not just a state program. We have asked that the government, the federal government, to help coordinate, encourage, and establish parameters for states in cooperating with each other, and is offering a fund or funds for helping them and assisting them in establishing this program in their state. Currently, there are several states who do not have an Amber Alert program, and this is utilizing that same program. There is a state law that says, or a federal law that says, that the Amber Alert program should be utilized and already is a cooperative, but it's a voluntary program. In other words, the states may voluntarily accept to use that program, and then the federal government will assist them in the cost of signs and training and coordination. The background of this is that several states have accepted the Silver Alert program, and it has worked very well in those states. In talking with the federal officials, Senator Boxter had asked to be co-author or co-sponsor for this bill. Senator Feinstein, who was on the Judiciary Committee at the time it was heard in Washington last, indicated that it was being delayed due to the judiciary's work with trying to find a new Supreme Court justice, and but was in favor of the bill. So it has been alerted again. We want to again remind all of those federal elected officials that this bill is still languishing for lack of being passed. It passed, basically this concept passed with a few amendments in the House of Representatives, but failed to pass when it did not come up for call in the judiciary in the Senate. So I would encourage that we utilize the bill. We're talking about lives, not money. We're talking about people's health and strength, and we're not talking about money.
Yes,
Senator
I
Winslow.
think you've done your homework. It sounds like a good proposal to me, and I'd like to see it move forward.
Thank you.
Senator?
Do I read this correct that they're going to be asking for a federal grant?
That is correct.
So it's not something that is funded right now, then it wouldn't be funded unless they get a federal grant. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're asking for the federal grant as an incentive to states who do not have an Amber Alert or emergency alert system. The examples are, for example, here in California, we have an emergency alert system, and therefore the federal grant would not be made in California, but might be made in Kansas, where there is no emergency alert system. And that's to assist with such things as signage, coordination, and training for the program. The original bill, which was 3 years ago, was amended, and they brought up additional ideas to attach to it to test various ways of trying to keep track of seniors. One of those methods was to put GPS bracelets on them. One was to implant chips in people. These were all distasteful, both to the other organizations that are supporting this, which one is the Alzheimer's Association, due to the concept that we deprive people of their general freedom and their independence. They would be like prisoners as such. There are people who are not incarcerated who might need this, or not in a home who might need this. This applies to all seniors, not just those who happen to be sick.
Okay, Senator, Senior Assemblyman Sonnenfeld, would you like to move to vote?
Yes, I move I call for the question.
A second? A second. It's been moved and seconded.
Eaton? Cox?
No.
Cox, no. Kim Selby?
Aye.
Kim Selby, aye. Smith? Orange? Winslow?
Aye.
Winslow, aye. Alderson?
Aye.
Alderson, aye. Mr. Chairman, this measure has three yes votes, one no vote, and it passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yes. This federal grants program is the thing that turns me off.
Yeah, but
Senior Assemblywoman Campbell is
I'm back. I'm back.
page
151.
And Vice Chair Eaton is here, and you may be excused.
Wow, good. Did you want me to start, Mr. Chairman?
tell us, read your change.
Read the changes.
On what line are you going to read from?
We're going to start at the very beginning at line 9. Existing law provides for the state SSA, which is Social Security Administration, to provide a supplementary program. for the aged, blind, and disabled, and then in parentheses, that's SSI, not SSP. I think whoever pardon me. We are addressing. My proposal is only addressing the SSI recipients, and all the Social Security income, the SSI, Supplemental Security Income. SSI, or Supplementary Security Income, is a federal program that provides monthly cash payments to people in need. SSI is for people who are 65 or older, as well as for the blind, disabled, people of any age, including children. This is what the mix-up by Senator Eaton is, that whomever wrote the proposal was confused on the SSI, the SSP, and the SSA. And I think that's where the confusion. So I'm trying to clarify that by specifying on line 9, existing law provides for the state SSA, which is Social Security Administration, to provide a supplementary. Can you please go a little slower? I'm sorry. Okay.
Connie, we heard this before, right, and she wanted to make this amendment to it.
Yeah, I just wondered what lines. I'm just trying to find what line.
At the very beginning, line 9.
Okay.
Existing law provides for the state, SSA is the amendment, addition.
So Social Security Administration.
To provide a supplementary security income for the aged, blind, and disabled, parentheses SSI.
I need to write all this down.
Supplementary security income is what the SSI is for.
Income SSI. Okay.
And then I think if we can go down to line 13 then, payments to qualified recipients. And also down to line 17, if you would strike, would increase SSI payments as specified. Continuing on page 52 on line 36. Page 52, line 152, line 36. Strike SSP. The sentence begins, whereas the reductions in California for SSI/SSP. We don't want SSP. It's just the SSI recipients that this proposal is addressing. And those are the amendments that I have made, which I think clarifies the confusion between the SSI and the SSP and the SSA.
I'm going to ask Council if she got all of those.
I believe so, but I'm still reviewing to make sure every conforming change was made. So if you can just give me like 2 minutes to make sure.
Senior Senator Eaton.
If I could get you to clarify in your own words what the intent and what this is supposed to do, because I'm confused, and it's probably because I just came back. But if you could, just in your own words, tell me what this proposal is supposed to be doing, is attempting to do.
It's reinstating monthly SSI payment amounts to include the COLA that comes from the federal government, which Governor Schwarzenegger had not given the SSI qualified recipients the COLA. It had gone to the general fund for California, thus not allowing or denying the SSI recipients of what they were entitled to. We're just asking the state of California, please stop this and give them what the feds are giving them.
Okay, because I don't think the state of California can increase the federal COLA. They could replace it, but they couldn't.
Exactly.
They could give money in lieu of it. I think that's what you're looking at, right?
Exactly. I'm sorry
that's okay. We want to be able to come up with what you're trying to do here.
Yeah. No. It's just reinstating the COLA that they had lost.
No. You want to No. Don't say reinstate. Say replace. Replace. Yes, to reimburse the people for the COLA they did not receive or were not eligible, that the federal COLA that didn't come through. What you want the state to do is to give the money to the recipient because the federal COLA wasn't available. That's in effect what you want. So the people.
No, the federal COLA was available, and California received it. It's just the recipients didn't.
What year are you talking about?
2008. 2008. Yeah.
Okay.
2008, 2009, 10, and 11.
Okay. Because it seems to be and maybe I don't want to be argumentative, I really don't, but I just keep reading this that we want to replace the federal COLA, and that's not what you're looking at.
No,
no. Yeah, I knew that's not based on what you said. That's
why I thought reinstate, but that doesn't clarify it for you. Give them their due.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I know. That's what you mean, because. Let's see if we can help that.
I hope that.
Well, you've really done a good job of taking another look at this, and I really appreciate that, because I think you got it down. Is you want the federal government that gives the state the COLAs, the old saying goes, and you want the state then to say, hey, that federal government gave you that money for seniors, now give it to them. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's pure and simple, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think we got very sidetracked on the welfare and brown bags, and this has nothing to do with that. This is just saying.
Sure, I'll take the question.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Called roll call.
Are we voting on the amendment?
You need to vote on the amendments proposed by the author. If there are any amendments also proposed by the committee, that would also be a separate vote. It was a little confusing, Senator Eaton, if you wanted to propose committee amendments as well. Specifically, from what you were saying, maybe on lines 56 through 58 about encouraged to use an alternative measure for determining a COLA.
Maybe in line 54 and 55, federal cost of living adjustment for SSI recipients for X year be given to the recipients or from the state. Something like that, because that's what you're talking about, is that one COLA that was passed through to the recipient that the state kept, we want them to give it to the recipient, right? Are you talking about forever and ever, or are you talking about that 1 year?
Well, I don't know there'll be COLAs forever and ever, but there haven't been, no.
I still want to vote.
Okay.
So is the author taking those amendments as proposed?
Vote on the amendment.
Is the author incorporating the amendment that was just suggested by Senator Eaton?
Could you read that again?
Actually, I haven't written it down because no one said it was an actual amendment. So Senator Eaton, could please repeat?
So for SSI recipients in 2008.
What about saying resolve that the lost federal cost COLA be reinstated?
The COLA withheld.
The withheld.
The COLA withheld from.
Mm-hmm.
That, yeah.
And would you like a specific year added in after that?
Is it only the 1 year that they withheld it?
No, it's beginning in 2008.
Well, it could be 4 years.
8, 9, 10, and 11.
But there was none in 9 and 10. See, that's none were given by the feds in 9 and 10.
Okay, so 8 and 9.
9, yeah.
So just to clarify what the amendment will read, starting on line 54, resolve that the federal cost of living adjustment COLA withheld from SSI recipients in year 2008
And 9.
and 2008 and not years 2008 and 9 be reinstated in California and be it further.
There.
Okay. Okay.
That's like,
Okay, first the vote is on the amendment, and then the vote is on the bill. A roll call for the amendment.
Eaton,
aye.
Cox,
Aye.
Kim Selby, Smith, Orange, Winslow.
Aye.
Winslow, aye. Alderson.
Aye.
Alderson. That's 4-0.
Passes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
now,
you.
Sir.
now we
Sir,
got.
for your patience.
Now,
Thank
now
you.
I move that we accept the.
Wait.
That's the amendment. Now we have to
Oh, we have to vote on that.
Now we have to have the bill.
Now I move that we accept the proposal as amended.
Roll call.
Okay, Eaton,
aye.
Eaton, aye. Cox.
Aye.
Cox, aye. Kim Selby, Smith, Orange, Winslow.
Aye.
Winslow, aye. Alderson.
Aye.
Alderson, aye. That's 4-0.
Congratulations.
Now we go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
After all that.
The next, this is our
One is
This is,
AFP 7,
yeah.
Yes.
Social Security windfall, page 181. No. Social
AP.
Security windfall elimination provision. I think we have a general
Yep,
in front of us.
we do.
Thank you, sir.
For Ledge Council, is it in the proper format
It appears to be, sir.
and language?
It appears to be.
Do we wish to hear the proposal?
I move we hear the proposal, and I'd like for him to introduce himself because I like to listen to how he pronounces his last name.
I don't. It's too hard.
I'll second that.
Michael Lee Peelbit, PSA 3, covering Plumas, Colusa, Butte, Glenn, and Tehama counties. And there's less people in my counties, 5 counties, than there are in this city alone. But aside from that, bill proposal AFP 7 is to eliminate the windfall elimination provision of the Social Security Act. It was a rider on a bill back in 1983 under the Reagan administration, and it's affected many people: teachers, law enforcement, firefighters, people safety retirement, and a few others, I'm sure, that were exempt for a time into not paying into Social Security because they had some other retirement program that they were working. And what the Social Security windfall elimination provision has done is it stated that because they didn't pay into Social Security in a certain area of their life where they received a pension, they but they did earn their 40 quarters, so they did have an entitlement to Social Security.
they penalized that amount which they did earn by approximately 60%. And it's worse than highway robbery. It takes away a benefit that people worked for years and earned. And to give you an example, and I'll do this by motions. If you paid into Social Security as a teacher or a law enforcement or whoever and earned a pension, and you paid into Social Security while you were doing that, your Social Security benefit would be, say, this much money. Okay? But they didn't pay into it. But they did earn their 40 quarters in other endeavors in life. So their entitlement's really down here. Social Security takes this entitlement, the lower, and takes approximately 60%, and now their entitlement's way down here. So it's a shame that they are doing this, and I think it's blatantly unfair to the people that worked those extra endeavors in their life to be punished for that, and I think it's unconstitutional as well as unconscionable. And so therefore I have submitted this bill proposal to have that windfall elimination provision eliminated from the Social Security Act. Any questions?
Any questions from the panel? Senior Senator Eaton?
The windfall provision, elimination provision, and the government pension offset provisions were two very controversial items that went into the adjustment of the Social Security legislation 1984 with the agreement to shore up the funding. They both came in to establish a better funding source for Social Security by eliminating certain things. When I first started with Social Security, I knew I was going to get a retirement benefit, and I could get a wife's or widow's benefit under my husband's. And so with the GPO provision came in, I thought, oh, it's affecting me. And it was affecting me, and I was annoyed with it. But on retrospect and looking back at it, had I been working in covered Social Security employment my whole career, my Social Security benefit would have precluded me from getting a wife's or widow's benefit anyway. So there was no, if I really wanted to be objective, there was no inequitable coverage for me. If I had gotten mine, I would have been getting benefit preferential treatment because I would have gotten more than a wife who worked in low income, say, or who never worked at all. So I would have been getting more return because I wouldn't be covered. I wouldn't have the government pension offset provision looking at me. The windfall provision came in to protect the lower wage earner, the person who's worked their entire career under Social Security with very low earnings. So the formula that was used to produce that benefit was weighted, was given extra weight to give them more credit, give a higher return on their tax dollar than someone at the higher income level, because recognizing that they were at the low income all along. So the windfall provision came in so that if my working career was somewhere else in government, as it was, and I moonlighted, in effect, enough to get my quarters, however many I needed. So I went out and I moonlighted. I was guaranteed a minimum benefit, but the benefit amount was not going to be based on the same formula that gave me more return on my tax dollars than what it did if I had only had covered Social Security earnings. And that was the whole reason for it. I never liked some of these reasons, but I could understand why we had to have them, because the Social Security trust funds are in big trouble. And if we look at trying to change it to take more out of it, whether it's for programs that we like or dislike, as the windfall elimination, we used to have the notch babies that some people may remember, those people who got cut because they were born a year later than somebody else.
What do you mean they used to?
They still do. So there's always these inequities that were there, and you can look at, we need to take care of them. With the notch babies, I used to tell them, when I did public speeches, and did it in a humorous vein that when they die, it'll all go away anyway. Nobody will, when there's no one around. And so when we look at that, and I don't want to make light of it because I know where you're coming from, but the whole thing comes down to dollars and cents and monies that go into the trust fund. And I don't think your proposal will go anywhere because they're looking at ways to add money to the trust fund and not take ways to take money out of it.
Well, all I'm asking is that people be paid what they put into it.
But the only thing is, if you look at how much tax money you paid, say you were in 40 quarters at the minimum amount, you paid the tax base at the minimum amount, and if you draw Social Security benefit of a minimum amount, you're going to draw everything out you ever paid in very quickly. And because I've done the dollars and cents and added those up for people, and now you get it, you have to receive it longer than you did when I was working, but you draw every penny out that you ever paid in long sooner than you think. And that's all I can say with that. I know you're would like to get the same weighted formula that someone who has minimal earnings under Social Security, but I don't think, no matter what we vote, that it's ever going to happen.
But those early dollars were worth something.
Yeah.
They were worth 10 of what today's dollars are. Now, I think they're entitled to what they have. If you want to see, I have 11 years under Social Security in Mexico. I had my 44 quarters. I applied, and they said, you're applying too early. So I waited, and I applied when I thought I was supposed to, and they, you waited too long. So you talk about inequities. I think he's got a good proposal. I'd like to move the question.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Call for vote.
Eaton,
I'm going to abstain. I don't want to vote against it.
okay. Cox,
I'm going to abstain. I don't believe that. And the Notch babies, we didn't get it.
okay. Kim Selby, Smith, Orange, Winslow.
Aye.
Winslow, aye. Alderson.
Aye.
Alderson, aye. Mr. Chairman, that measure has 2 aye votes and 2 abstentions, so it does not pass.
No, we have to wait for Joanna to come.
No, it's the majority of the members present.
Oh, but it's tied, isn't it?
No, it needs to gain 3 votes to be a majority. It has 2 votes.
So the measure fails.
Measure fails.
Oh, Donnie. You want to. You know you
Well,
want to.
I do. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. You know,
Well, then don't.
it really isn't going to go anywhere. You know,
Yeah.
Once the roll's called, the measure is,
It's done.
unless the committee moves for reconsideration granted, and
But you need to ask for reconsideration,
Yeah.
and then the committee votes on whether to grant you reconsideration.
Chair would ask if the reconsideration is in order.
I move we reconsider and maybe pick up a vote.
you're just trying to make me feel guilty.
Well, the presenter, the author, first needs to ask for reconsideration, and then a vote is held.
To give it.
As the presenter, may I ask for reconsideration?
Second.
Is there a move?
Not that he can make a motion, but I'll
Yeah,
second it.
so you can choose to have us vote on a reconsideration. So
I can.
choose for us to vote, yeah, then, since he's asked.
Okay. Let's vote for reconsideration. Roll call.
Eaton, Cox,
No.
Kim Selby, Smith, Orange, Winslow,
Aye.
Alderson.
Yes.
So that's 2 ayes, 1 no.
It's not.
Yeah.
Motion fails.
Yeah.
You need 3 to pass the motion.
I didn't hear Senator Eaton's
I
vote.
didn't,
She abstained.
I abstained.
Okay. Well, I thank you. So we'll pitch it again somewhere else.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes our agenda for today.
We have one still open, don't we?
No.
No. In that case,
Yeah,
we're done for the day. Well, thank you.
so you can know how to spell it. Lee Peel.
Repealed it.
Lee Peel. The L-E-E-P-E-A-L.
Oh, boy.
Now I can remember how to say it. I don't know.
Security, SSI, SSB, SSA.
See, that's the whole issue with the police.
I didn't realize we had all those letters.
What he did is he didn't, so she said have a right to do that. He doesn't have the right to do that.
Oh, if you want to, yeah.
The SSP portion.
This one failed, so.
Okay, so is it like the
Going back to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay.
You mean downstairs, the open room? I have to take my box out, so. Yeah, so let me just get this.
Before retirement, I went to Social Security, so what am I going to get? And they told me, well, get that. So after I retired, I went to Social Security and applied for it, and they gave me, instead of $550, they gave me like $320. And I asked him about it, and the guy didn't even look, I just reached into the drawer, pulled out the document, and it says,
State and local government
Yeah.
Senate.
Well, in that,
Yeah.
if you have,
I love talking to your husband.
you're not, you don't suffer elimination.
I hope I have that.
Social Security, no matter
Are we getting the,
how
are we getting the
many, and a pension, and there is no offset. There is no elimination.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're getting them from your committee, so I guess we're getting
You know, it's,
Do we have anything else? You know what I'm saying?
no, we don't.
Kind of like, I'm more like him.
We're adjourned until